This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Thursday, the 13th of August. I'm Michael Groff. The weather pattern across the state will remain very hot and relatively dry for the foreseeable future. However, moisture surges will bring about periodic chances of widely scattered thunderstorms over the higher terrain of the state. When and where those storms happen, still a little bit of a question mark. The other question is, will we see anything here in the valley over the next 7 to 10 days? Let's talk about it first. Yesterday, 111 degrees was the afternoon high, 89 the morning low, the normal high 105, the normal low 83, and we're now more than an inch behind on rainfall for the year. And outside now, here at 8:25 a.m., a lot of high clouds out there, mostly cloudy conditions in fact, but we're already at 97 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 56, relative humidity 25%, the winds are calm, and the barometer is rising. Temperatures around the area right now, 80 degrees, the cool spot at Fort McDowell, but most locations are in the upper 80s to mid 90s, even some upper 90s popping up. Falcon Field, South Phoenix, Avondale, Buckeye. How about 98 is the hot spot right now at Saguaro Lake of all places. The upper air look, it's the same old stuff, different day. High pressure is the dominant weather feature here across the southwest. One little change of note, though, is we do have a surge of mid and high-level moisture across the state. You can see that here on the infrared view, thanks to the remnants of Hurricane Elita to the south and west. So those high clouds will linger around, but they'll be clearing on out of here over the next 12 to 24 hours. On the watch warning map, yes, we still have some flash flood watches over parts of the middle Atlantic states, but the big story is really the heat. Heat advisories and excessive heat warnings for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and across much of the west, from the valleys of California on northward into Oregon, and here across the Sonora and Mojave deserts as well. An excessive heat warning for Phoenix through 8 p.m. Monday night. We also have a number of red flag warnings and fire weather watches and advisories out here in the west as well, and those will continue into perpetuity. All right, convective outlook for today, the enhanced risk of severe storms over parts of Minnesota, the standard slight risk for the adjacent states, a marginal risk for the central and northern plains, as well as parts of the Mississippi Delta, the Mid-South. In Arizona, we're in the green, so thunderstorms possible nearly statewide, at least according to the SPC. I think that risk is pretty low in some sections, especially southwest Arizona, but we'll detail that in just a moment. And the tropics in the Atlantic, we have a brand new storm on the board. This is Tropical Storm Josephine. Top winds now 45 miles per hour. This is located east of the Lesser Antilles. It will continue to push to the west-northwest, making more of a turn in coming days and weaken as it does as it encounters plenty of dry air and shear. This should not be a threat, probably won't even develop into a hurricane. But of course, with any tropical system, you can't take your eyes off of these things. Never let your guard down. Things can change. And speaking of, in the East Pacific, pretty active out here. Of course, we say goodbye to Elita, now just a remnant low, hardly even that, just a batch of mid and high level moisture mostly. But we have 3 tropical waves well to the south. One is Tropical Depression 10E. That will push to the west and ultimately weaken. We have another system there off the Mexican coast, shown to have a 70% chance of development, and a third system behind that. And we keep an eye on these features because at least those 2 trailing waves may have an impact on our weather here across the southwest, as the tropics in the East Pacific should remain active for at least the next 10 days. Here's the precipitation outlook, valid through next Thursday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix, the big nothing. Statewide, generally under 1/2 inch for the southern border, southeast Arizona, and the east central mountains. As we remain in a rather hot and relatively dry weather pattern with a few exceptions of note, and we'll detail those now as we check out modeling. Here we go to the GFS, the Global Forecasting System. This is the 06Z run, valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We start as always with the upper look at about 18,000 feet off the ground. There's our subtropical ridge centered just to our east or southeast, and that's producing a south to southwesterly flow aloft. So down at the surface, plenty of mid and high level clouds around today. We'll call it partly sunny. High temperatures mostly 110 to 114. There is enough moisture to yield widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly over the higher terrain of central and eastern Arizona, including a few storms that may fire up over southern Maricopa, southwestern Pinal County. And there might be an outflow boundary that gets relatively close to the valley for some blowing dust, maybe in the outskirts, but I think that's a very low-end threat at best. Now tonight, the skies are mostly clear to partly cloudy, overnight lows mid-80s to low 90s, and then tomorrow, the ridge scoots a little closer, sitting mostly right on top of us here, and that's just going to mean very hot and drier conditions to continue. Mostly sunny skies, highs 112 to 115. More or less the same deal over the weekend. The high sitting pretty much right on top of us Saturday, 111 to 114 for the high. An isolated shower or storm over the higher terrain, that's about it. Sunday is shaping up to be somewhat more interesting. Our ridge begins to move slightly to the north. A flow aloft out of the east develops, and widely scattered thunderstorms that develop over the higher terrain of eastern Arizona would get directed toward the lower deserts, including the Phoenix area. I'd say the risk of getting any storms in here is still really small, but some gusty winds and blowing dust would still be a possibility. So we'll watch for that. It's not in the forecast right now. We're going to see what happens once we get closer to the event and we take a look at the CAMs, the convective allowing models, as we get within 60 hours of that. But looking like a pretty interesting setup nonetheless. High temperatures are still going to be hot, though, regardless, somewhere between 110 to 114, the sky partly sunny. More or less the same deal on Monday, maybe a few less clouds, widely scattered thunderstorms over the higher terrain. As we go to Tuesday and Wednesday, the ridge continues to meander to the north and west over the Mojave Desert. The flow aloft turns out of the east or northeast. And generally speaking, this is a great setup to bring storms off of the rim country and into the deserts. The problem is we don't have a lot of monsoon moisture around to trigger scattered or numerous storms over the mountains. Instead, only widely scattered showers and thunderstorms up there. If any of them can survive, they could make it into the lower deserts, including Phoenix, but the risk is pretty small, albeit not zero. But for the moment, we're keeping the forecast dry, and with upper heights still around 594 decameters, the air is going to be relatively stable and warm, so high temperatures are going to be hot too. Highs between 110 and 114, and that rain chance stays pretty low. Here we go to a week from today. This is Thursday, the 20th. Same setup. High pressure over the Mojave Desert, widely scattered storms in the mountains, isolated storms getting into the deserts, maybe a low-grade monsoon forecast if this is correct. And going out 10 days to the end of the forecast period, this is Saturday the 22nd. The GFS shows a tropical system out there west of the Baja. And who knows if that's there 10 days out, but the idea of increased tropical activity over the East Pacific is interesting. And the ridge of high pressure is centered to our east, so a south-southeasterly flow aloft, perhaps an increase in the number of showers and storms over Arizona at that point, maybe an uptick in storms for the latter 10 days of August. Way too early to call right now, and given the way this summer has gone, I'll believe it when I see it. All right, precipitation off of the European ensemble, and again, about 80% of the members show absolutely nothing for the next couple of weeks. The ensemble mean remains under 1/10 of an inch. Temperatures off the national blend of models, it's got us all the way up at 116 tomorrow. That is certainly not inconceivable. It really depends on that low-level moisture that we have around here. It could hold high temperatures down a degree or two each day, but still will be north of 110 most days, maybe trending down as we get out toward 10 days. Overnight lows mostly in the 80s or low 90s. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell so that whenever a brand new video is posted, you'll get the notice. Your comments, questions, and suggestions always encouraged as well. I thank you so much for watching. Always appreciated. You guys be safe, stay cool, drink plenty of water, watch your kids around the swimming pool, and have yourselves an amazing Thursday.